Amazing moment. Black housekeeper's son discovers his millionaire boss's life-changing gesture. Jamal stood in the center of Mr. Davidson's sprawling mansion, a palace of polished marble and golden accents. He couldn't shake the sensation of being an intruder in a world that glittered with excess, feeling small against the backdrop of wealth. But Jamal, just shy of graduation, had dreams bigger than the four walls of his mother's modest home. He was fueled by the tireless work of Rosa, his mother, who spent her days keeping this palace spotless, her hands calloused from years of scrubbing the remnants of the lives lived here. The weight of financial worries pressed down on Jamal's chest, threatening to smother the aspirations he held tightly as he moved through the entrance hall. Respecting the silence with every step, he caught a glimpse of Rosa. She was dusting a grand chandelier, an image of grace beneath the shimmering crystals that glinted like stars. Jamal admired her, absorbing her resilience, her unwavering dignity despite the struggles that clouded their everyday existence. The tension in their small home was palpable, but it was woven into laughter, memories, and unyielding hope. One day, while he sorted books in the study, he overheard Mr. Davidson speaking in hushed tones. The words fluttered around him like butterflies, a hidden charitable fund designed to assist employees in hardship. Jamal's heart raced as disbelief washed over him. Could it be true? This man, draped in privilege, was silently supporting workers like his mother? Was there kindness beneath the layers of luxury? His emotions began to dance, a mix of admiration and anger swirling within. Caught in a tempest of thoughts, he weighed his choices. Should he confront Mr. Davidson? Should he demand accountability for a system that seemed rigged against the very people who kept his house running? Or should he echo his mother's lessons of humility, nurturing a heart that sees beyond wealth? He was about to find out. Jamal, Mr. Davidson called one afternoon, his voice booming with authority. Jamal's breath caught as he prepared to enter the plush office. He felt the stakes rising, a monumental moment looming over him. Memories of his mother's sacrifices stretched back in vivid shades of exhaustion and determination. Could this conversation be the answer to their struggles? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The office felt like a world away from his reality. As he stood facing Mr. Davidson, his voice trembled, a mix of hope and fear. The weight of expectation was almost unbearable. Would this be a chance for a better future? Or just another reminder of invisible barriers that confined him? He inhaled, feeling the tension crackle in the air, and opened his mouth to speak. The anticipation hung thick, like a melody on the tip of his tongue. Would he do what needed to be done, or would he remain silent, letting opportunities slip like grains of sand through his fingers? In that pivotal moment, his fate awaited a crossroads that could change everything. What would he choose? Jamal's heart raced as he finally found his voice. Mr. Davidson, I overheard something the other day about a fund for employees. His words spilled out, hesitant but driven by a force he couldn't control. He looked straight into Mr. Davidson's eyes, searching for any sign of understanding or acceptance. Davidson paused, his brow furrowing. The room fell silent, as if the universe had stopped to listen. You overheard? He asked, his tone shifting from authority to curiosity. Yes, sir. I heard about the charitable fund. It's life-changing. Yes, Mr. Davidson interrupted, a faint smile breaking through. But you must understand, Jamal, that it's not just about the money. It's about empowerment, opportunity. Jamal's eyes widened. He hadn't expected this. Do you mean that employees can apply, or? They can, but very few have. It's designed to help those who are truly in need. Mr. Davidson leaned back, observing Jamal closely. I know your mother, Rosa. She is a hard worker, but I can tell you that people sometimes avoid seeking help out of pride. A flood of emotions surged through Jamal. His mother had always taught him to be proud, to never appear weak. Yet here was Mr. Davidson, extending a hand to those too burdened by their circumstances to ask for it. I guess I just I want to make sure she knows there's support, that she doesn't have to struggle. Mr. Davidson nodded, his expression turning serious. I appreciate your concern, really. Rosa deserves better than this backbreaking work. I'll tell her about it. Maybe then she can take the step to change her situation. Hearing the words left Jamal conflicted. Would his mother want this? Would she see it as charity or assistance? Were they deserving of whatever Mr. Davidson was offering? A knot tightened in his stomach. But what if she is too afraid to ask? What if she thinks it makes her look weak? Vulnerability is strength, Jamal. It takes courage to seek help, Mr. Davidson replied, his voice steady. And sometimes, we have to break the cycle to see the changes we want. Jamal stood there, fighting to absorb the weight of those words. His family had never been one to reach out for help. They relied on their own strength. But with a life like his mother's, maybe it was time to reconsider. So if she applies, will she get help? He pressed Mr. Davidson leaned forward, a sense of urgency in his demeanor. If she qualifies, yes. You should encourage her, Jamal. People can only change when someone believes in them. The tension in Jamal's chest began to lift, but uncertainty still lingered. The moment felt pivotal, but he wasn't ready to step outside the family's tradition. I'll think about it, he finally said, giving Mr. Davidson a faint smile. Good, he replied, satisfied. And remember, it takes those small steps to create a path to something greater. As Jamal left the office, a tumult of emotions swirled within him. Hope battled with fear in his heart. He knew what he had to do, but would he be brave enough to confront his mother about it? Would she see it as a way out? Or would it be yet another burden on her already tired shoulders? Stepping out of the mansion felt like stepping into a new world, where possibilities spun in the air like golden threads waiting to be woven into a tapestry of life. He could feel the weight of decision pressing down. The need to act was overpowering. The sun illuminated the pathway as he made his way home. What would he say when he reached her? And could he convince her to accept help, to break the barrier that had kept them isolated for so long? The shadows stretched long before him, and as he walked, he couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted. The air crackled with promise. But the question hung, electric and alive. Would he have the courage to change his mother's fate? Jamal walked briskly down the street, his heartbeat echoing in his ears. Thoughts collided in his mind, images of his mother hunched over late into the evening, her face lined with worry, flooded back. The idea that they could have helped just a short distance away felt like a beacon of hope, and yet, overwhelming fear tugged at him. Would she accept it? As he turned the corner, he could see their small apartment complex looming ahead. The worn stairs leading up to their door seemed steeper today. He hesitated, the familiar mix of dread and determination swirling within him. What if she rejected the idea? What if it created a rift between them? Pushing the door open, he was greeted by the comforting smell of home. His mother was already in the kitchen, her back to him, stirring something on the stove. Her movements were steady, methodical, a rhythm he'd watched for years. "Hi, Mom," he called out, trying to keep his voice light despite the anxiety tightening his stomach. "Jamal, you're home early," she replied, turning around with a smile that made his heart flip. "How was work?" It was okay," he said, moving to join her at the counter. "I actually wanted to talk to you about something important." She looked at him, her expression shifting from warmth to concern. "What is on your mind?" Taking a deep breath, he plunged forward. "I was talking to Mr. Davidson today." Her eyes narrowed slightly. "Mr. Davidson? Is everything all right? Did he say anything about your performance?" No, it's not about that," he stammered, searching her face for any hint of encouragement. "He mentioned a fund for employees, for people who might need help. And, I think you should consider applying." Rosa's expression dropped, her spoon clattering against the pot. "Jamal, I don't need charity," she said firmly, her voice strong but laced with a pain he recognized all too well. "It's not charity, Mom," he pleaded, stepping closer. "It's help for people like us. You work so hard, and it could make a big difference." "I appreciate that you want to help," she replied, her shoulders sagging, "but we manage just fine. I won't be another burden." The words hung heavy in the air, creating a wall between them. "But it's about breaking the cycle, Mom." Jamal's voice cracked, and he took a step back, the emotion spilling out. "You shouldn't have to struggle like this. You deserve better, and I want you to know there are options." She turned away, looking out the small window, as if searching for answers in the fading sunlight. It's not that simple, Jamal. Asking for help, it feels like admitting failure. No, it's not failure. It's taking control, he urged, desperation rising in his tone. Mr. Davidson said vulnerability is strength. It's okay to lean on others sometimes. There was silence, heavy and charged with words left unspoken. Jamal could see the conflict in her eyes. He felt an ache deep in his chest, uncertainty and hope battling fiercely. I just want you to be happy, Mom. We're in this together, right? Rosa turned back to him, a glimmer of something in her gaze, maybe acceptance, maybe fear. I'll think about it. His heart soared and sank all at once. That's all I ask, he said softly, sensing a tilt in the atmosphere, the chance for change. But as they stood there, side by side at the counter, Jamal couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of a much bigger conversation. A step in a new direction. He yearned to tell her more, yet wondered if she truly grasped the weight of what was being offered. Would she be able to cross that bridge when it became necessary? As he moved to clear the table, a thought gnawed at him. Would this spark a deeper conversation about their lives, or would fear keep them rooted where they were? The question loomed large, igniting the next chapter of their journey together. Jamal wiped his hands on a dish towel, his mind swirling. He could feel the weight of unsaid words between them, a tension that had built over years of struggle and silent sacrifices. He glanced at his mother, still facing the window, her silhouette framed by the dwindling light. Her figure seemed smaller, almost fragile. Mom, he hesitated, a knot forming in his throat. You know, you've done so much for me. All those late nights I did it for us, she interrupted, turning to him with a smile. But the smile didn't quite reach her eyes. You're my reason, Jamal. And you're mine, he replied, a surge of determination coursing through him. I want you to flourish, to be happy. We have to shift our mindset, Mom. This is our chance. Rosa's brow furrowed, the concern etched deeply in the lines of her face. What if we take that step and it falls apart? What if we fail? Then we try again, he said, a mixture of defiance and hope fueling his words. Life is about trying. You raised me to believe that. There were stories behind every wrinkle, each one a testament to years of sacrifice. She worked tirelessly to provide for him, her dreams confined under the weight of routine survival. Promise me, you'll think it through. Just think, he urged gently. For a moment, her gaze softened. I'll think about it, she repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. But I don't want you to base your future on this. Jamal took a deep breath, feeling the surge of love and frustration crash within him. But this could help us, Mom. The fund isn't just about money. It's about support, community. It's validation that we shouldn't have to shoulder everything alone. Rosa's eyes flickered away, reflecting the light, revealing the depth of emotion within. I just don't want to be a burden. You have your whole life ahead of you. Then let me carry part of the burden with you, he said, his voice cracking slightly. I want to be part of the solution, Mom. Together, we can rewrite our story. She sighed, looking back at him. It was like searching for answers in her own heart. Can we have dinner first? It's getting cold, Rosa finally said, a slight smile breaking through as they shifted towards a familiar routine. But the air was different now, charged with possibility. They sat down to eat. Jamal noticed the way his mother's hands looked as she reached for the fork, tremulous yet determined. The taste of the food reminded him of childhood comfort, yet the heaviness of their conversation lingered in the air. Do you think Mr. Davidson really meant what he said? She asked, a note of skepticism evident in her voice. I do, Jamal said, warmth igniting in his chest. He wouldn't have mentioned it if he didn't care. He knows how hard you work. You deserve recognition. No one has ever done much for me, she mused, her voice quiet. Maybe I've been too stubborn. It's okay to accept help, Mom, he said softly. We're all human, and we need each other. She looked at him then, really looked at him. There was vulnerability in her gaze, woven with threads of hope. Maybe it's time for a change. Just then, a loud knock echoed through their small apartment, jolting them from their moment. The unexpected sound rattled both of them. Who could that be? Rosa asked, a mix of curiosity and caution in her expression. Jamal rose and moved toward the door, heart racing with sudden anticipation. As he turned the knob, a nervous energy coursed through him. Little did he know, The door would open into a world of unforeseen opportunities, challenges, and surprises that could dramatically alter their lives. What awaited them beyond that threshold? Jamal opened the door hesitantly, his heart pounding, not knowing what to expect. The hallway outside was dimly lit, but standing at the doorway, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Mr. Davidson, his boss, dressed in a tailored suit with an unexpected warmth in his expression. "Jamal," Mr. Davidson exclaimed, his voice like a clap of thunder breaking the silence. "I hope I'm not interrupting anything." Jamal stepped back, still in shock. "No, sir, we were just—" He glanced back to his mother, who stood a few steps behind him, confusion etched on her face. "Good evening, Mrs. Rosa," Mr. Davidson said, nodding toward her with a genuine smile. "I've come to talk to you both about something very important." Jamal exchanged a quick look with his mother. The air was thick with uncertainty. "You're here regarding the fund?" he ventured, trying to grasp the details and the swirl of emotions. "Exactly," Mr. Davidson responded, his demeanor shifting to one of earnestness. "But there's more to it than that. Can I come in?" "Of course," Jamal replied, stepping aside. He waved his hand toward their small living room, and Mr. Davidson entered, seeming to fill the space with his presence. "Dinner smells amazing," he commented, glancing at the table before settling into a chair. Thank you," Rosa said, her voice cautious. "I hope you don't mind me serving just a simple meal. We weren't expecting company." "Not at all," he said, his gaze softening. "You both have played such an important role in my life. I think it's time I help you the way you've helped me." Jamal's heart raced. Was this really happening? "Mr. Davidson, you don't have to do anything for us. Your kindness has already let me finish," Mr. Davidson interjected lightly, holding up a hand. "I was impressed with how dedicated you both are and how you've navigated the challenges life throws at you. I appreciate that you showed me the importance of community and partnership." Jamal's fingers gripped the edge of the table. "So what are you suggesting?" "I'm starting a program that offers not just financial backing, but mentorship opportunities. I want to include your family in this project. We need stories like yours to create real impact. You've lived it, Jamal. You can help shape this into something meaningful." His words hung in the air, and for a moment, everything felt surreal. Jamal glanced at his mother, whose eyes widened in disbelief. "You mean us?" Rosa asked, the uncertainty creeping back into her voice. This is about us." "Yes," Mr. Davidson confirmed, his tone earnest. "I believe in investing in people, in real change. You've overcome so much, and I want to partner with you, not just as your boss, but as an ally." "Why?" Jamal questioned, amazed and cautious. "It feels too generous." "Because I believe everyone deserves a chance to thrive, not just survive," Mr. Davidson replied. "It's about making the world a little better, together. You both have so much potential. It's time for you to have a voice." The room fell silent. Jamal felt as if they were standing on the edge of a cliff, ready to leap into the unknown. "What do you think, Mom?" Jamal finally asked, searching her eyes for some hint of certainty. Rosa hesitated, a flood of emotions washing over her. "I don't know if we're ready for this," she murmured, her brows knitting together. "It's okay to feel afraid," Mr. Davidson reassured gently. "But this is your chance. You can shape your destiny." Jamal stood silent, thoughts racing. What if this was the opportunity they had been waiting for? As Rosa's breath hitched softly, Jamal felt an urgency bubbling inside him. They were at a crossroads, with decisions that could redefine everything. But would they take the leap together? He looked at Mr. Davidson, then back to his mom, heart thumping louder, wondering if they could finally embrace change. "Are we really ready?" he thought. Just then, the telephone rang, slicing through the tension, a reminder that life continued on. "Should I get that?" he asked, hesitating between the urgent call and the transformative dialogue. What awaited them on the other end could change everything once again. Jamal let out a shaky breath as the phone rang again, breaking the weight of the moment. The sound felt oddly out of place in their intimate gathering. He exchanged a glance with Mr. Davidson and then with his mother, whose expression now mirrored his own, a cocktail of excitement and anxiety. "Maybe it's a wrong number?" Rosa suggested lightly, but Jamal could see the apprehension in her eyes. "No way," he whispered, his mind racing. He approached the phone, but the impulse to answer felt like a chain tethering him to his uncertainty. "What if it's bad news?" "Whatever it is, we can handle it," his mom said, though her voice cracked slightly. Jamal reached for the receiver, his fingers trembling. "I'll just check." He put the receiver to his ear. The sound of the ringing stopped abruptly, and he was met with a polite voice. "Good evening. Is this Jamal?" Yeah, this is Jamal," he replied, surprised. "Great. This is Anna from the county office. I hope you're doing well. I'm calling because we received your application for the scholarship program aimed at supporting local youth. I wanted to inform you that you've been selected for the initial interview." His heart soared, an uncontrollable rush of adrenaline flooding through him. "Really? That's amazing." "Indeed. We were impressed by your involvement in the community and how your story resonates with our mission. I believe you have a bright future ahead." Jamal felt Mr. Davidson's eyes on him, a reassuring nod that pushed him further into this reality. The walls felt like they were closing in, yet opening at the same time. "Thanks. When is the interview?" Anna detailed the date and location. As she spoke, Jamal's gaze flicked between his mother and his boss, each person reflecting the pride he felt swelling in his chest. When he finally hung up, he was met with two sets of eager eyes. "What happened?" Rosa leaned forward, her expression shifting from fear to hope. "I got the interview." Jamal couldn't help but smile, a wave of relief washing over him. "For the scholarship." Rosa's face lit up, and she rushed towards him, wrapping her arms tightly around him. "Oh, my baby. I knew you would do it. This is such good news." "And it's just the beginning," Mr. Davidson added, his enthusiasm apparent. "With your potential, Jamal, this program I'm talking about can push you to heights you never imagined." Jamal felt buoyed, not only by his mother's affection, but also by the weight of possibility. One opportunity seemed to spiral into another, each fragile connection gathering strength. "But now I have to prepare. What if I mess it up?" "Then you learn," Mr. Davidson replied, his eyes locking onto Jamal's with a fierce encouragement. "You embrace every moment, trusting in your growth. That is what it means to advance, failing against all odds and still standing firm." Feeling invigorated, Jamal nodded slowly. He could see the path forming ahead of him, branching out into a million possibilities. Rosa took a deep breath, her expression now one of determination. "Okay, we do this together, Jamal. No more doubts. We'll prepare. You'll shine. You've always been ready." Just as the warmth of shared hope settled in, the phone rang again, this time vibrating against the table before falling silent. Everyone froze, glancing at it as if it were an omen whispering something more significant. What if that's another opportunity? Jamal wondered, heart racing, and suddenly, an electrifying thought gripped him. What if this was just the beginning of uncharted territory? The atmosphere thickened with anticipation. Jamal could feel that they were standing at the precipice of change, but now, they had to decide if they would let fear close the door or take the leap into the unknown. What could be waiting for us on the other line? He pondered, fingers itching to pick up the phone once more. Jamal stood there, the phone staring back at him. The air tightened with electric tension. His heart drum rolled within his chest. He could almost hear it pulsing. Was it the courage to reach for the unknown? Or was he caught in fear? A whispered voice in the back of his mind urged him to seize this moment. "Should I answer it?" he asked, looking back at his mother and Mr. Davidson. Their eyes gleamed with a combined mix of anxiety and excitement. It felt like they were standing on the edge of a cliff, looking down into an abyss filled with possibilities. "Yes." Rosa squeezed her hands together, her eyes wide. "What if it's more good news?" "You have to answer. And remember," Mr. Davidson added, "this isn't just about what's next, it's about believing in your journey. No second guessing." Jamal reached for the phone again, feeling the weight of their encouragement. He picked it up, inhaled deeply, and gave them a quick nod. With a shaking hand, he pressed the receiver to his ear, this time with conviction. "Hello?" he said, crossing his fingers with hope. "Hi again, Jamal. It's Anna." He felt immediate relief wash over him to hear her voice once more. "Oh, hi. Everything okay? I wanted to follow up on our conversation earlier. 2 more team members from the selection committee would like to meet with you for an informal chat before the interview." Jamal could barely process the words. "Oh wow, that's great. Yes, they want to know about your interests and what inspires you. It could really enhance your chances in the selection process. So when is that?" She shared the details, and as he noted them down, colored threads of excitement intertwined with apprehension. More people would see him, more expectations laid out like a tapestry before him. I'll do my best. Believe in yourself, Jamal. You're going to make a fantastic impression. Thanks, Anna. I appreciate that. He managed, his confidence creeping up. When he hung up, the light in the room seemed even brighter. Jamal turned to see both Rosa and Mr. Davidson beaming at him, their pride wrapping around him like a blanket. In that moment, he realized that this leap into the unknown was more than just an opportunity. It was a shared journey. Did you hear that? They want to meet again, he exclaimed, a giddy laugh escaping his lips. Yes. Oh my baby, that is fantastic. Rosa hugged him tight once more. It's all coming together, Mr. Davidson said, moving closer. You're not just a housekeeper's son, Jamal. You have dreams, and they want to hear them. This is your time. Jamal felt the weight of worlds lift off his shoulders. Hope surged through his veins, mingling with an intoxicating sense of possibility. He imagined standing before those committee members, sharing his desires and challenges like pages in a book. But amidst the elation, doubt clung stubbornly to the edges of his mind. But what if they don't like me? What if I can't express myself well? Then practice, Mr. Davidson suggested. Visualize that moment. Picture yourself in front of them. Speak from your heart. They're not just looking for perfection. They want someone authentic. Those words ignited a fire in Jamal. He needed to be authentic, to let them see the real him, the boy who grew up in this neighborhood, who had dreams bigger than the sky. As the clock ticked away moments toward preparation, a realization struck him. I've got to write down everything. My experiences, my hopes, even the challenges. Let us do it together, Rosa said, her enthusiasm sparking as she grasped his shoulders. You can even use your life story to show them why you deserve this. They gathered around the table, pens racing across paper. The room pulsed with excitement. But even as he wrote, Jamal couldn't shake the feeling that he was on the brink of something bigger than just an interview. The phone call had set off a chain reaction of events that would change lives, not just his, but those of others watching, hoping, and dreaming. But suddenly, as they wrapped up their session, the phone rang again. Jamal's heart skipped a beat. Could it be another opportunity? The electric tension surged once more. As he reached for the receiver, a thought flashed through his mind. What if this was not just change for him, but for everyone who dared to believe? And with that, the phone loomed larger than ever, ready to unveil a mystery that could alter the course of their lives forever. What awaited him on the other end? Jamal's hand trembled as he lifted the receiver, uncertainty mingling with anticipation. The world around him faded, leaving only the rhythmic thumping of his heart in his ears. Hello? He managed to say, his voice barely above a whisper. Jamal? It's Anna again, she replied, her tone shifting. He could sense something else in her voice, urgency. Is everything okay? He asked, suddenly worried. Actually, there's more. I was able to speak to the committee about your initial meeting. They were very impressed with your story, she continued, her words igniting a flicker of hope inside him. But here's the thing. They want to hear more. They're intrigued by your unique background and the perspective you bring. His heart raced. More? Like what? The committee is hosting an informal gathering next week, a small event with people from various backgrounds. They feel it's a chance for candidates like you to not just talk about their goals, but to really connect and share their journeys, Anna explained. Jamal thought of how terrifying and exciting that sounded. So they want me to come? Yes, she said with a warmth that eased his nerves a little. But I must tell you, this is also a chance to showcase more than just your aspirations. You'll have the opportunity to connect with potential mentors and allies. They want authenticity, Jamal. They want to understand who you are, beyond just what's on paper. I don't know if I can, he stammered. Suddenly, the fear he thought had dissipated rushed back. The weight of expectations felt heavier than before. Listen, Anna said gently, everyone in that room has faced their own struggles. They're not looking for perfection, they're looking for real people with real stories. This is your chance to let them in, to let them see you. Taking a deep breath, Jamal closed his eyes for a moment, grounding himself in her words. Nana had always said that vulnerability was strength. Okay, I'll do it, he said, each word feeling like a promise to himself. Great. Let me give you the details, Anna replied, and as she explained the logistics, Jamal felt his nerves start to melt away, replaced by a burgeoning determination. After they hung up, the room was charged with energy. Rosa was bouncing on her toes, her joy spilling over. Jamal, this is amazing. You'll be sharing your story. I can't believe it's happening so fast, he said, unable to wipe the smile from his face. Suddenly, his mother's face grew serious. Just remember, baby, you need to celebrate where you come from. It's a part of you, embrace it. Rosa's voice wavered slightly, filled with so much pride that Jamal felt his chest swell. I will. I promise, he replied, the surge of courage filling him. But as quickly as the excitement surged, a prickling doubt began bubbling just beneath the surface. What was he really going to say? How would he stand up and share everything? The thought that he might stumble over his words made his stomach twist at Amar. Davidson caught his eye. You know, it's okay to feel nervous. Everyone does. But remember what makes your story powerful. It's not about being flawless, it's about being you. I think I can do it, Jamal replied, feeling the support like a balm to his fears. Maybe if I focus on what that means, I can really connect with them. Yes. And don't forget what you've overcome. That's your strength, Mr. Davidson encouraged, his voice steady and reassuring. Jamal's thoughts began to form snippets of his childhood, the laughter shared, the struggles faced. He picked up his pen again and began jotting down ideas, the words flowing more freely now. This was more than preparation. It was the beginning of him finding his voice. Just then, the ringing of the phone interrupted the moment. Jamal's heart dropped again, the anxiety clawed at him. He glanced at Rosa and Mr. Davidson, who exchanged worried glances. Could it be more news? Or perhaps some unwelcome twist? As he picked up the phone, 1,000 thoughts raced through his mind. What lay ahead? Was it another chance or an obstacle? The moment felt pregnant with possibilities, and the air crackled with the unknown. He pressed the receiver to his ear again, preparing for whatever awaited him. Could this change everything? His breath caught as he waited for the voice on the line to begin. Jamal? It was the familiar voice of Mrs. Thompson, his boss. A rush of emotions flooded in part dread, part intrigue. I hope I'm not interrupting. Not at all, Mrs. Thompson, he replied, trying to keep his voice steady. How can I help you? There was a pause on the other end, one that felt longer than it probably was. I wanted to personally invite you to my charity gala next month. It's a chance to bring together people who want to make a difference, and this time I'd really like you to be a part of it. Her tone was sincere, and Jamal could almost picture her leaning slightly forward, eager and hopeful. Me? But I'm just a housekeeper's son? She interrupted gently, a hint of firmness cutting through. Jamal, you're more than that. You have a story worth sharing, and I believe your voice can contribute to the discussions we'll have that night. His pulse quickened. This was unexpected. Glancing at Rosa's beaming face, he found his courage rising again. Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. I'm honored, truly, but I don't know how much I could contribute. Sometimes all we need is to show up, she said softly. You'll be surrounded by people eager to connect. Trust me, they want to hear from you just as much as they want to hear from anyone else. Will you consider it? Jamal closed his eyes, the weight of her words settling on him like a warm blanket. I'll consider it, he finally answered, his heart swelling with the possibility of growth and change. Wonderful. I'll send you the details. Oh, and Jamal, one more thing, don't sell yourself short. You've already shown resilience, and this is just the beginning. Her words resonated deep within him. When he hung up, the room erupted in a flurry of excitement. What did she say? Rosa leaned in, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. She invited me to the gala. It's next month, and I think I might actually go, he replied, the reality of the moment dawning on him. Rosa bounced up and down. You're moving up, my friend. This is huge. But in the back of his mind, a voice whispered doubt. What if I mess up? What if they see me and think, who is this kid trying to fit in? Mr. Davidson stepped in, sensing his uncertainty. You know, that feeling is natural. Everyone wants to belong, and it's a fear that even the most accomplished people face. It's how we handle it that truly matters. Jamal nodded, but still felt a weight pulling him down. What did he even know about charity galas? Would he belong among philanthropists and community leaders? Yet, beneath his anxiety, excitement bubbled up. This opportunity to share his story felt like a lifeline. In that moment, he realized he didn't want to hide anymore. Let us talk about what I should wear, he said with a grin, embracing the idea of the gala and the chance to step into a world he dreamed of. As they discussed potential outfits and strategies for talking to people at the event, A fire ignited in Jamal. He jotted down ideas for his speech, brainstorming what he wanted to share about his journey. The words flowed with newfound energy as he transformed his fears into fuel. Just then, he paused, fingers poised over his pen. What will I say to Mrs. Thompson? What if she expects me to be someone I'm not? Rosa, always supportive, placed a hand on his shoulder. Be yourself, Jamal. That's who they want to meet. You're stronger than you think. Yeah, he said, the fear intermingling with possibility and unanswered question lingering in his mind. Was this the moment that would change everything for him? As they prepared to dive deeper into planning, Jamal's heart raced, realizing that this was not just about the gala. It was about stepping into the light. What if the next exciting opportunity awaited just beyond the horizon? And as he plunged into thoughts of the upcoming event, he couldn't shake one thought. What hidden stories would he uncover at that gala? The gala approached like a freight train, unstoppable and full of momentum. Jamal could hardly contain his mix of excitement and anxiety. Every moment felt electric, buzzing with anticipation for what awaited him on that grand night. He spent hours practicing his speech, rehearsing his story in front of the mirror, envisioning a crowd hanging on to his every word. Would they listen? Would they care? As the day drew closer, Jamal's confidence shifted. Fear still lingered, but now it tangled beautifully with hope. Chaos and possibility coalesced within him, transforming those existential shakes into simmering courage. I can do this, he whispered, peering at his reflection. He pictured his mother's warm smile, Mr. Davidson's encouraging nod, each face reminding him of the powerful journey that had brought him here. When the night of the gala arrived, Jamal slipped into a crisp suit, tailored just for him, a gift from Mr. Davidson. He admired how the fabric gleamed under the soft lights of their apartment. Rosa was beside him, pride swelling as she helped him straighten his tie. It felt surreal, stepping into a world that once felt so far away. You look incredible, Jamal, she said, her eyes reflecting the light that spilled through the window. You have the strength of our family with you. Jamal felt both powerful and vulnerable, a mix that propelled him forward. Grabbing a small folder containing his notes, he took a deep breath. Thanks, Mom. I'm ready, I think. They arrived at the gala, the building towering like a grand fortress of opportunity. Jamal's heart raced as they walked through the entrance. Softer, warm lights danced with laughter and conversation, creating a tapestry of life he had only glimpsed before. He stood at the door, overwhelmed by the grandeur around him. Then, he spotted Mr. Davidson. Instantly, he felt a firm hand at his back, nudging him forward. Let us go, Mr. Davidson urged, guiding Jamal into the crowd. Each step felt both monumental and minuscule, a world where he could share his story. As they entered the main room, Jamal's eyes widened in awe. Glimmering chandeliers hung from the high ceilings. Guests in elegant attire mingled, their laughter and chatter swirling around him. It was a sea of connection he yearned for, but felt distant from just moments before. Breathe, Jamal. You belong here, Mr. Davidson muttered, sensing his apprehension. We're all human. The thought struck him. Here he was, surrounded by people who had stories too. And maybe, just maybe, they would want to hear his. Throughout the evening, Jamal engaged in small conversations, discovering layers of kindness beneath the polished exterior of each guest. They shared aspirations, dreams, and struggles some echoed his own. With each exchange, he found strength in vulnerability, slowly weaving the pieces of his story into the fabric of the night. And then it happened. When it was finally time for him to speak, a gentle hush fell over the room as he stepped onto the stage. The spotlight washed over him, illuminating every doubt and every hope. He could feel the weight of their eyes on him, a mix of thrill and terror igniting his spirit. Taking a deep breath, he locked his gaze on the crowd, searching for encouraging faces. His voice trembled as he began. Hello, everyone. My name is Jamal, and I stand here today as the proud son of a hardworking mother. As he spoke, he poured out his truth, the late nights of his mom's labor, the dreams that seemed unattainable, and the kindness he found in Mr. Davidson. As the story flowed, he noticed people leaning in, hanging on to his words, nodding in understanding. Jamal's heart soared as he spoke about vulnerability and the strength it takes to seek help. He was no longer just the son of a housekeeper. He was a voice that could inspire others to break the cycles of doubt. When he finished, the room erupted into applause. His mom beamed from where she stood, tears glistening in her eyes, those tears of pride he had dreamt of evoking. "Jamal," Mr. Davidson called out, a wide smile on his face. "You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it." The warmth of acceptance enveloped him, solidifying that he was exactly where he was meant to be. The energy of the evening surged and transformed. Conversations bubbled, support began flowing freely, and new connections blossomed, each person aware of the life-changing potential they could create together. In the days following the gala, Jamal's life began to shift. He received calls from mentors who wanted to invest in his future, community leaders eager to support his education. Scholarship offers rolled in, and doors began to open like petals unfurling under spring rain. And beyond just opportunities, there was a family that emerged, one who would embrace hope, uplift each other, and never shy away from the potential of asking for help. It was the transformation of two generations, stepping into a brighter future. Jamal stood at his window on a sunny morning, watching as the world bloomed outside. The path ahead shimmered with promise as he envisioned college, new people, adventures, and the chance to give back, to be more than just a housekeeper's son. With every fiber of his being, he felt the fulfillment of dreams woven together by courage, love, and hard work. And in that moment, jammed with overwhelming emotion, he whispered, "We did it, Mom." It was not just the end of a chapter, it was the glorious beginning of a story they would write together, intertwined with hope, resilience, and love. Now, as you reflect on Jamal's extraordinary journey, you need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your appreciation truly makes a difference. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this inspiring transformation. Let's grow together. Your support matters.